Welcome back, guys. This is Automotive Anonymous, and we're gonna kind of do an impromptu style driving impressions video today of a 23 Subaru BRZ Limited. If you follow my channel, you know I reviewed a BRZ last year, a 2022 model, and I own a 23 Miata Club, so I think rear-wheel drive, high-revving four-cylinder vehicles are pretty cool. If you want to see my full review on this one or the one last year, you're welcome to check those out. And I'll even link this one in the description below. It's been borrowed from a dealer, and, you know, we were on the way to drop it back off, and it's just such a fun car. I figured, let's make another video. Let's show you some more driving impressions. Take it on the road, let you hear more engine revving, more downshifting, and all the goodies. See how it corners all those things, and just enjoy the ride for a little bit longer before it finds its new home. Anyways, this is a really cool platform. 4-cylinder, 228 horse. It revs to 7,500 RPM. Peak power comes on at 7,000 RPM. Visibility is honestly pretty decent in this. The B-pillar is wide, but those mirrors work really well. And that instrument panel is really cool. It has an 8-inch screen, heated seats that are mediocre, but the notchy gearbox, easy to downshift, easy to engine rev. Engine match, because it doesn't have none of that nonsense auto rev for you, which is a good way to learn. But in a car like this, it's anticipated that you know how to drive. God intended you to drive a manual when it's offered, so driving something like this is really fun. Limited like this starts at just under $32,000. It's a bit cheaper than you might anticipate because of the collaboration with Toyota. They can price it well. It feels really good on the road. That 2.4 Boxer doesn't have the torque dip that the first gen FRS, BRZ, and GR86 had, so you can really rev it out a little bit and enjoy it. Have you guys driven one of these? Comment below. If you like the video so far, consider liking it, or even subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my stuff. Otherwise, we're going to give it a few more minutes, going to go through the country and just have a little bit of fun and see where the road takes us. The horn on this sounds decent. Actually pretty loud. I forgot to include that on my full review, so I wanted to show you guys what that sounds like. It's pretty beefy for what this car is. Sometimes these cars have sissy little horns because it's a carryover from some of the other products that the manufacturer makes. But, you know, usually when you're buying a sports car that's by a company that makes regular cars, it's going to share a lot of the same parts. You're actually going to be able to find those things when you need to have them repaired. If they do, it's not some exotic thing that takes months to repair and thousands of dollars. But no, sometimes you share the same light bulbs, you share the same stuff, you know, so you can find it at an auto parts store and, you know, maybe get a 2-pack, one for your daily driver SUV and one for your performance car. That's the cool thing about BRZs and the new Corvettes and stuff like that, is you can usually manage them and maintain them fairly well, fairly cheaply. Insurance is honestly usually not too bad on things like this. As long as it's not a car that's unsafe, gets crashed a lot, stolen a lot, chances are your insurance might be surprisingly low. And the BRZ is actually a top safety pick plus, which is really cool. You do have a lot of good features in this one, like auto dimming mirrors, the compass, all the safety features. You know, it does have cruise control, but no eyesight cameras because it's a manual, so you can't have total control given to the AI, to the system, to things like that. But you get total control with that shifter. It's really cool. The backup camera takes up the full screen. You can have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I did 0 to 60 in my full review if you want to see that. We are at about 4,000 feet of true altitude. Density altitude, which is how the vehicle's engine is affected, varies between, you know, maybe as low as 2,000 when it's winter and the roads are slick and you can't even get traction, all the way up to as bad as about 7,500. So vehicle power is down, typically over 10% here compared to other parts of the country. So we're not going to set world record times. As you'll see in that video, it actually was pretty quick, but not quite textbook rated, magazine rated, because we're not on a sticky drag strip at sea level. And this isn't a straight line performing car. The fact that it does pretty well in a straight line is cool, but where this really shines is on the curves. When you're going around a corner, adding some lateral G-force, it does really well. And this 2.4 Boxer having a little bit more displacement and 184 peak pound-feet of the twisty torque at 3,700 RPM is pretty cool, because oftentimes you can get up to 3,700 RPM in the city pretty easily and just have a lot of fun. It's surprisingly how well performance cars like this and higher class can corner. And then when you're in traffic behind normal moving vehicles, you realize how slow normal moving vehicles are and how bad they weight shift and transfer. This, of course, is a unibody design, but it's tight, it's buttoned down. You can always upgrade the brakes, which the brakes on this are pretty good. They're just progressive as you push more. There's not like a sharp engagement point in my experience, but you can always get some Willwood or other brands, you know, that you want to upgrade to. If you're gonna track it, get some different brake lines, different brake fluid and pads. But it's seriously just so good. It feels like a street race car that you can rev out, you can have some fun with it without breaking the speed limit, without going dangerous levels of speed. You can just really enjoy what you're doing in your BRZ, and where it's only about 5.5 feet wide, you have a lot of width on each side of the road. So you can kind of angle it into corners and take it out and just have a little bit more fun with it. I used to really like just straight line performance. I've had a few supercharged cars before. I had an LS car before, but seriously, going around corners well is just a game changer in how fun it is. It's not about the horsepower wars, which is overrated. You know, now that Hellcats are putting out over 800 horse, the silly Hellcat Demon 170 that you'll never actually match its magazine rated times, you know, you can't use that level of power on the street. You ride out one gear and you're on your way to prison. Your car's gonna sit impounded for a long time. What are you doing? Versus something like this, you can just rev out, enjoy, not break the speed limit, and basically get 30 miles per gallon. Or if you even go less practical and get the Miata Roadster like I have, I get like 38 miles per gallon in the funnest car I've ever driven. And guys, I have driven, a few weeks ago I did a Track Hawk, which is the Hellcat powered Grand Cherokee from 2018 to 2021. I even drove a Plaid last year while it held the title as the world's fastest production car. Those are phenomenal cars. I may never be in a faster car. If you have a faster car, send me an email so I can drive it. But honestly guys, this is about as fun as anything I have ever been in. And even granny shifting, doing a quick turn, you can have a lot of fun and get right back up to speed. We're now at the speed level, just gonna coast in 6th gear, and you can hear it's quiet again. And we're just having a good time enjoying the BRZ. So let me know in the comments, guys, what are your thoughts? Would you buy one of these? Would you consider one of these? Have you driven one? Are you planning to drive one? Seriously, go find one. The BRZ for 2022 only sold about 3,300 units, and then the Toyota Twin sold about 11,000 and change. So surprisingly, not many people bought these. Likewise, only about 10,000 Miatas get sold in the United States every single year. But they're awesome. They're really fun cars. They're practical, heated seats, nice infotainment, Apple CarPlay, you know, ultra suede leather seats. It's just a fun place to be. The thing you're missing out though is an open air experience, no convertible option, no sunroof. I think if the BRZ had one of those and it didn't increase the weight, I might have considered it over my personal Miata. But these are seriously two of the funnest cars that I have driven. And I've driven some cool stuff, and I've ridden in other cool stuff before. I will say the highest horsepower car that comes close to this, it wasn't the Track Hawk, it wasn't an automatic CTSV, it was actually the Camaro ZL1 1LE, but that thing's over twice as expensive, costs about 3 times as much to operate and own. And it is so stiff. Yeah, it sets some of the fastest track times in the world of any production car, but it just isn't as fun. It's not as playful. You can't throw it out, throw it around a corner, do a slightly overpowered U-turn on accident, you know, because we don't do anything that's illegal. That's not right. But you can just seriously have so much fun in this. You can easily downshift, catch back up to traffic when you need to get up to speed. You can do the things you need to do and have a lot of fun doing it on a budget with a 4-cylinder. So what are your thoughts, guys? Comment below. And you know what? I'll see you on the next one.